Good morning, everyone. Okay, today we will learn about financial leverage. Before that, I'll tell you that we were doing capital structure. What was the formula for capital structure? The formula was debt upon equity. That was the formula for capital structure, debt upon equity. Now, here debt means borrowed capital, equity means owner's capital. So, the capital structure says there must be a ratio to be determined between borrowed capital and owner's capital. That is called a framework. That is called a capital structure. So, capital structure, it's moving, है ना? Capital structure is the ratio between borrowed capital and owner's capital. Now the question is, any ratio we can determine? We can decide any ratio or anything we should think something about that. Yes, of course we have to think. What we have to think about? That we have to determine such ratio so that the objective of capital structure is, what is the main objective of capital structure determination? Listen again. The capital structure must be determined in such a ratio so that the owner's capital, shareholders' wealth can be maximized. Is it? So, such ratio between borrowed capital and owner's capital we have to determine so that the shareholders' wealth can be maximized. This is the main objective of capital structure. What is shareholders' wealth? Shareholders' wealth means whatever equity shareholders, whatever dividend will be distributed to shareholders, it should be maximum. We have to determine such ratio between borrowed capital and equity capital so that the equity shareholders can get maximum dividend. If dividend will increase, one type of wealth will increase, dividend increase, and the another aspect is that if the company distributes higher dividend on its securities, then in stock market, in open market, value of these shares will increase. Now, if the shareholders want to sell their shares, their securities, then they will get maximum prices because the company's reputation is going high. The security market is going high for the securities of company. Is it? So here capital structure must be determined in such a manner so that the every equity share will get maximum dividend on per share. Maximum dividend can be distributed on per share. Such structure we have to determine. Again, I say something. Now we will learn about some new concept. What is this? Financial leverage. What is this financial leverage? I repeat my terms, okay? But let me do the another term for financial leverage is trading on equity. The another term is trading on equity. So these two terms we are going to learn, that is financial leverage and trading on equity. Both the terms are again related with this, what? That financial leverage says that capital structure must be determined, that ratio between, financial leverage says ratio between debt capital and owner's capital in such a manner so that shareholders' wealth can be maximized. And the another term is used for financial leverage is trading on equity. Okay. Now, there are two types of financial leverage, that is favorable and unfavorable. What is favorable financial leverage? If the shareholders' wealth is increasing, that leverage is called financial leverage. If shareholders wealth, yeah, in dividend per share is decreasing, then this is unfavorable financial leverage. Now, what is financial leverage? Financial leverage is, again I am repeating the meaning of financial leverage. Yeah, trading on equity. Financial leverage is ratio of debt. इसके ऊपर फोकस कर रहे हैं हम. Financial leverage means ratio of debt in total capital in such a manner so that shareholders' wealth can be maximized. This is called financial leverage or trading on equity. Clear everyone? Or anybody having any problem, then you may ask it. No one having problem? Okay, that's very good. So financial leverage we will learn now with the help of an example, or we can say there is only one numerical in whole syllabus, that is financial leverage numerical. Let's see what the numerical is. See, there is a situation 1. This is first situation, this is second situation. So we will analyze here. First of all, in first situation, earning before interest and tax. Earning before interest and tax. The earnings are 7 lakh. This is given. Okay. And now here the first situation is given that in first situation all the share capital is kept as equity capital. No borrowed capital is there. So minus interest. How much interest we will pay? Nil. No interest will be paid. Then what the profit? Earning before tax. Earning before tax will remain 7 lakh because no interest is given. So earnings will remain same 7 lakh. And now these are the net distributable profit, but it is not distributed. Before that we have to pay tax. Tax is 30%. Interest rate is 10%. Okay. So tax rate is 30%. So whatever after deduction of interest, whatever profit left, we will calculate 30% tax and we will deduct it. Okay, that is 30% is 2,10,000. 7 lakh 30% is 2,10,000. We will minus it. How much profit is left here? 4,90,000 profit is left here. Earning per share. We are going to calculate not earning per share. Here we write earnings after interest and tax. These are the earnings after payment of interest, after payment of tax. So these are called distributable profit. Let's see how we will distribute the profit. How much total shares was there? Shares was earning after tax divided by number of shares. Let's see how much shares were there. Sorry, I forgot to tell you. The total capital is 50 lakh. 50 lakh rupees. This is the total capital given. So here completely no borrowed capital, no interest is there. Completely 50 lakh rupees is invested in equity form. Okay. So number of shares. If we imagine that 50 lakh rupees per share is of 10 rupees. So number of shares will become 5 lakh. Okay. So earnings are available 4,90,000 divided by number of shares 5 lakh. Complete 5 lakh capital we are investing here. Then earning per share, do the calculation. Earning per share will be calculated 0.98. This is earning per share. But with the one situation, we can't finalize anything. Let's go for next. Next situation says, same, earnings are same. But this time, ratio is decided that 20 lakh is debt capital and 30 lakh is shares capital, equity capital. Okay, ratio is changed. पहले ratio क्या था? Debt upon equity 0 by 50 lakh. 0 is to 50. Here 20 is to 30. 20 lakh rupees borrowed capital is here. Let's see. Now if we want to pay interest 10%, how much capital is there? 20 lakh capital is borrowed capital. So on 20 lakh calculate 10%. That will become 2 lakh. So 2 lakh interest will be paid. Remaining profit is earning after interest but before tax is 5 lakh. Let's calculate tax. 30% tax we have to calculate. Do the calculation here. 1,50,000. Tax will be deducted. How much profit is left? 3,50,000 profit is distributable profit. Earning after interest and tax, distributable profit is there. Now, same formula we will follow. What? 3,50,000 divided by number of shares. Number of shares कितना? 30 lakh. 30 lakh 10 rupees per share. 30 lakh rupees divided by 10 rupees per share. So number of shares is 3 lakh. And earning per share will become 1.16. So now we have two results. See, when we didn't introduce any borrowed capital, then earning per share was very less. And in second situation, we introduced borrowed capital, then earning per share will increase. So that is important to determine such capital structure in which debt and equity both must be there with the in such a manner so that earning per share can be maximum. One thing. Second thing is this is called unfavorable financial leverage. This is called favorable financial leverage. Now again come back to the situation. What was the situation? Again we will back. Here see interest rate is 10% and do the calculation. If I will calculate here 50 lakh, this is rough calculation. 50 lakh divided by 7 lakh. Sorry, profit percentage we have to calculate. How we will calculate profit percentage? We will calculate profit percentage 7 lakh divided by 50 lakh into percent. Do the calculation everyone. %. Okay, so here see here interest rate is 10% and profit percentage is 14%. If profit percentage is higher than interest rate, that means profit can cover up interest easily, then we will get benefit if we will increase debt capital. Borrowed capital if we will increase, then we will get benefit of shareholders wealth maximization. Suppose we will change the situation. Suppose in spite of this we will say that this time we will do that profit percentage if we will make it 6%. Let's see what will happen. Let's see what will happen. Situation is same, question is same, just earning before interest and tax is 3 lakh. Profit is down. Interest rate is 10% and profit percentage is 6%. 50 lakhs, 6% is 3 lakh. Okay. So if profit does not cover up interest, then what the situation will be there? This is, then we will pay interest. No interest will be paid because no capital is introduced here. So here this is earning before tax minus tax, that is same 30%. Tax rate is from government, we can't change it. So this is it will become 90,000. Distributable profit is 2,10,000. Earning after interest and tax, it will become 2,10,000. So let's see earning per share कैसे निकालना है. Same criteria. Distributable available profit divided by number of shares. Number of shares कितना है? Again, no borrowed capital, completely equity capital is here. So 10 rupees per share, 5 lakh number of shares. Earning per share will become 0.42. Clear? Let's go for second situation. In second situation, 20 lakh rupees borrowed capital is introduced and 30 lakh rupees is equity capital. Let's see what will happen. 3 lakh is the profit minus we will pay interest with the 10%. 20 lakh rupees, 10% is 2 lakh interest. Profit will be left 1 lakh. Let's minus tax. This is 10,000. Now we will have 90,000 rupees distributable profit. Let's go. Earning per share 90,000 divided by number of shares is 30 lakh. On 10 rupees per share, so it will be 3 lakh number of shares. How much profit will be there? Sorry, this is 30,000 and here it will left 70,000. 30%. Okay. So it will become 0.23. See in this situation, profit was not sufficient to cover up interest percentage. That is why if we are increasing borrowed capital, then earning per share is reducing. This is not a good situation. This is a good situation. This is financial leverage, favorable financial leverage. Companies will follow this. If companies' earnings are less than interest. So now this situation is not completely good for a company because interest rate is 10% and earning rate is 4%. Profit percentage is 4%. So this is not a good situation. Company have to increase their profits. Otherwise, what will happen? Company can't survive for a longer period because it is important that profit must cover up interest. If profit can't cover up interest amount, then it is not a good situation. Okay, here is at least we can distribute something. If here we want to increase our capital and completely no borrowed capital, here if we will increase ratio of borrowed capital, then situation will become worst. That is why financial leverage depends on earnings of the company. Earnings must be, financial leverage you can achieve if earnings are more than interest percentage. Okay, profit earnings must cover earning per share, interest coverage ratio. Earning must cover up the interest percentage ratio. Okay, then only company will get financial leverage. This is only numerical in your syllabus, so we complete it. If anybody have any problem here, then you may ask later, and nobody will leave the class before giving your attendance. First of all, I call your names for attendance, then you will leave.